Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. With me once again, we have the man who reviews movies, TV shows, and wrestling. We have Campo.Reviews with us once again. This is going to be our first of many this week. It's been a busy couple weeks in wrestling. And it is. And tonight we are reviewing All In from London, England, Wembley Stadium, the UK show. AEW's first
from
ever.
Wembley Stadium
Wembley
in London, England.
Which, spoiler for the end of the show, they announced they'll be back next year for All In again.
Good.
Because this thing about this show was it had a 10 p.m. hard cutoff time. So the card wasn't over, it wasn't bloated, it flowed smoothly. There's still a lot of matches, but I mean, they had a hard cutoff time.
Yeah, and spoilers, CM Punk's fired, so he won't be there next year.
He won't be there next year. Hell, he won't even be there yesterday.
Nice.
If that makes sense.
It did. I got it. It makes sense.
It makes sense. So we'll start off. Not your typical pre-show countdown. There were only 2 matches on this pre-show.
And let's be honest, I understand the point of why it's a pre-show, but it might as well not have been a pre-show. This might as well have been main card proper because these matches were like real matches.
Yeah. All 11 matches on this card were there. The quality is main card match, not pre-show match.
Yeah.
So, and the talent involved. So we'll start off with the first pre-show match, which was Better Than You, Baby, against Aussie Open for the ROH World Tag Team Championship match.
Just a really, really good match.
Yeah. Aussie Open continues to shine. Surprising at the finish of the match, though.
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, let's Aussie Open deserve to win these titles. We were pretty sure they would. I did not expect them to be transitional champions.
Yeah, I think they're on for bigger and better things.
But I don't know what could possibly be better than being the champions.
FTR.
They're not getting FTR.
Not yet.
No, I don't think so. We'll talk about that on another day. But
maybe the strong tag champions. But then why would they sign? Why would they be signed with AEW?
Ring of Honors are big. Ring of Honor is bigger than Strong.
Yeah.
They won the championship, and this is clearly a move to draw attention to Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
By putting 2 big names as the champions. I don't know if Adam Cole has ever won the tag team champions before in Ring of Honor.
I think he has. I'm not 100% sure, but I can quickly look that up while we keep talking. But he is a decorated. This is the first time though AEW has had, or this is the first time an AEW talent has held a title in both promotions at the same time though.
It's also the first time anyone had 2 belts at once, I think, from the company. Right? Like no one's ever been the tag champion and the world champion before, have they? Was Orange Cassidy ever 2 things?
No.
So then,
and this is Adam Cole's first reign with the ROH Tag Team Championship.
You see, I knew there was definitely a nod for this title win, and it's also
it marks him as the 8th ever Triple Crown champion in ROH.
Yeah, there you go. And it also, other than adding clout for the next pay-per-view that will come up for Ring of Honor, which is a while away. But
yeah, it's not till December, I think.
But I think who knows, right? But it's bringing interest to Ring of Honor, and that's what they want. It also made sure that whoever wins at the end of the night, which we were not going to tell you, whoever did win the match, the other person is still going to have a title.
Yeah.
Right? Or the other way around, like win or lose. So
was it John Cena and when John Cena and Thing were champions?
Yeah, who was it?
It was John Cena and Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels.
Yes.
Yeah, but I think I understand it. From all 3 of those points, I completely understand it. But I do think when you have such an amazing talent that you just went out of your way to sign and you finally got them back healthy, you gave them the titles, they're like the future of this company, and then you just took the titles away.
Yeah. They are the future of tag team wrestling, Aussie Open.
Yeah. And it's odd. Like, I mean, Kyle Fletcher's very young.
Yeah.
Mark Davis is not very young.
But he's not that old either.
He's not that old either. But it's like, I feel like you got to get the best out of these guys while they still got go in the tank, right?
Yeah.
I understand your logic with the FTR. I don't want to dwell on this for too long, but
Yeah.
like, it feels like now that I'm seeing what's happening at Full Gear, at All Out,
Mm-hmm.
that what after I've seen what happened yesterday, if it seems like they're not going to face FTR.
No, that's true because there's that. Yeah, that's right.
Anyways, sorry for
As
stealing
we
the
go
show
on.
here.
Yeah, no, that's all good. It's all
It was
good.
a good match, though.
It was a very good match. Yeah, I'm just a little, like you said, a little disappointed that it was a transitional. They had a very short reign as champion. So with that, we are going to move on to our second pre-show match, which was Hook against Jack Perry for the FTW Championship in an FTW rules match, which essentially is just a street fight.
Yep.
I
like the use of props. I like the gimmick of the match. I really like the build to this feud. I'm a huge Hook fan.
Yeah.
I do like Jungle Boy. I don't know if I necessarily like him that much as a heel. We've yet to see how good he can be as a heel.
Yeah.
But and not even but I know Caps hates Jungle Boy.
Yeah.
And I know that he's not everybody's cup of tea anymore, especially, but I do think this was actually a good match.
Yeah. In ring it was. Well, even out of ring, but what I'm saying was physically it was a good match. I think Jungle Boy and Darby Allin have kind of fallen down a little bit in the pecking order as in terms of the four pillars.
I actually, you know what? I'm going to agree with you, but I'm also going to say that so has Sammy Guevara. The only difference is Sammy Guevara has
high profile with Chris Jericho.
Yeah, he has high profile with Chris Jericho, and he has clout from that. So does Darby Allin.
Yes, same thing. Basically, they have the two mentors that have taken them under their wing, kind of
where
thing.
Now Jack Perry is kind of just living on the fact that his dad was famous, kind of. That's what people think. At least I don't think that. I do think
because they're kind of moving away from the Jungle Boy gimmick and just calling him Jack Perry. Like,
and he no longer is with Christian, right? Yeah. It's like MJF. MJF is no longer with anyone. Well, I guess Adam Cole, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
It's like Darby Allin and Sammy Guevara are in positions where at any moment, if they wanted, they could get a push, but currently they're knocked off. Jungle Boy is the only one in a really meaningful place, but at the same time, out of those three, but at the same time, he's still low on the card.
Yeah, he is. He's a curtain jerker right now with the pre-show match, right?
Yeah, but mind you, this was a pretty good match.
Yeah, the match was
and Hook is getting a lot better.
Yeah, he is. He's got his father's height, but he's getting a lot better. It's the exposure. It's see what exactly like you put them in matches, you put them in high pro. That's how they learn. That's how they get experience. You don't hide them at the bottom of the card and then say we got nothing for.
He's doing what they screwed up on with Jade Cargill and what WCW screwed up on with Goldberg. They came out, they made him like a house of fire.
Mm-hmm.
He was just unbeatable, and then he went away. He learned a bit more. He came back. They put him in a program. He won the title. He went away for a bit. He came back. They did the same thing again, and now he's actually looking like, oh, we've evolved this character.
Yeah, he's looking like a homegrown talent that they're evolving.
Yeah,
and that they're grooming, I guess, is a way to put it.
He falls into that second bucket, the unfortunate bucket, the Hiroki Goto bucket of like they should be up there in the pillars.
Goto, Shingo, like that type of
Well, Shingo's a pillar in his own company, right? Like in Dragon Gate, he legitimately was a pillar.
But I'm talking in New Japan though, right?
But in New Japan, there's you know what I mean, right? Like Goto's a homegrown from the beginning. He was arguably one of their most popular guys, evil, stuff like that. We get it. But there's Ricky Starks and Hook among a couple of others, Powerhouse Hobbs, Wardlow, that even though they're the homegrown talents and they've had their moments of massive popularity, they've never been considered one of the four pillars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But Ricky Starks is in a high profile match last night.
Yeah, I love how we keep starting it off like he will yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Spoilers, guys. We record this in advance, but
yeah, but it that's doesn't matter. I do think
excuse me.
there's that second group of 4 guys, which I just said,
Yeah.
and they are, doesn't matter what kind of push they get, they're still overlooked because now we've intentionally exposed the 4 pillars, and we can't change that anymore.
Right.
But you can use that as a storyline in the future. Maybe we get,
hey, I'm gonna take down the pillar. You know what I mean?
Maybe we get a 4-on-4 fight where these 4 guys fight these 4 guys, and it's like,
yeah, because I remember watching some of Ricky Starks' stuff in like NWA and stuff like that, like when NWA first started coming back, and it was he was great. Like,
he's one of the original poaches that screwed them over.
Get this, he had a great feud with LA Knight.
Yeah, I actually do know about this, surprisingly. Yeah, he was really being projected as one of the better wrestlers. They lost him, and then that's where the downfall of NWA began, was with the Ricky Starks exit. Then it was like a trickle down effect. The same thing happened with MLW.
Left, and
Frankie Kazarian was there for a tiny bit. But yeah, anyways, this match was good. I love the stuff. Real Glass. Sorry, you couldn't hear me knock, but I knocked. And that might have been the worst thing that's ever happened, because we finally got rid of CM Punk.
Well, yeah. So we'll talk about what happened after this match. So as CM Punk, I guess, was entering the gorilla position, Jack Perry was walking out, and they kind of brushed shoulders, or they bumped into each other.
The story that was told is that Jack Perry shoulder bumped him.
Yeah.
And then they argued, then he pushed CM Punk, and then CM Punk put him in a chokehold.
Yeah.
Miro immediately went on Twitter to say that's not at all what happened. And then a news story came out where CM Punk approached him because he made that thing. He said like that was
about the
CM
glass.
Punk told him not to use real glass. And then he went up to him, he pushed Jack Perry swung at him, and then CM Punk put him in a chokehold. Is apparently what really happened.
Yeah, because I mean, and not to be a Punk apologist, but can you blame the guy? Do you really want to go into a match after you've had glass all over the floor?
No, and let's be honest, I do think it was a reckless thing to do, but I also at the same time understand where they're coming from. They're two young, hungry wrestlers. They're trying to get over, and they did get over big time. That spot was huge. And
like, you saw that gash on Perry's arm. That picture tells 1,000. Was it a picture tells 1,000 is worth 1,000 words or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a Rickyism. Yeah.
But it's like, it makes sense, and I get it. But the thing that I've just, it's one of those things that you think about and you're like, why can't he ever just let anything go? Like, all he had to do was just not say anything. Yes, I agree. Jungle Boy's an idiot for doing that. That's a situation like when they called out Hangman Page and he wasn't there, or like, those scenes, like CM Punk couldn't respond to your stupid thing, but you did it. But at the same time, Punk should have just let it go.
Yeah.
They almost canceled the CM Punk match.
The Samoa Joe match,
which was the next match. They were going to cancel it or push it down the card. But they ended up just going on right away.
And to be honest, it wasn't a bad match.
Okay, so we're going right into this?
Yeah, let's go right into it.
By the way,
CM Punk is fired.
Hook won.
Yes, Hook won.
And he's now FTW champion, and I'm glad the belt did not get retired, because I think this is like a small stepping stone belt that's important, because we don't have a lot of those in the North American companies.
Yeah.
There's always just like a secondary title and a main title, and it's like there's no like junior heavyweight. I know that's not really a low tier title. I mean for saying that, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah. It's a secondary title. There's no like an intercontinental.
It's like a third
tier
title, but like we don't have, because there's no European title anymore in WWE, and there's no more what was the other one? TV title, right?
The TV
you
title.
Don't have that. Anyways, I bring back third titles, companies, more belts.
More belts.
CM Punk versus Samoa Joe.
Yes.
was a really good match.
It was.
They teased you with the walk away. It didn't
Yeah.
work. Then he nailed the walk away and the crowd went nuts.
That's
They
Samoa Joe's thing. I sent you the clip on
yeah,
Instagram.
they
That's his
threw
thing.
the spot where he threw Samoa Joe through the bottom of the table, or he threw Punk through the bottom of the table.
Yeah, and he cracked the bottom there. It was a good, and then Punk with the Pepsi plunge off the top rope, right?
Yeah,
Like it was.
that was dangerous.
Yeah,
He almost killed him.
he almost killed Joe, but Joe, our boy Sweet Tooth, there, he.
But I think I don't have to like anyone to think a match is good.
Yeah,
Samoa Joe and CM Punk just have this weird chemistry together that I don't understand. It's just every match with them in it together is so good.
it's gold. Yeah, it is gold.
And
What happens?
Punk has been on a good run since he came back.
He had that thing with FTR.
The Kojima fight was crazy.
Yeah. What my question is now, what's going to happen with the real world championship? They're just going to pretend it doesn't exist?
All right, if you want to actually talk about this and we don't want to, because we're not having a monthly, what's it called?
Well, there will be a state in September. We didn't have one in August.
Yeah, well, we didn't have one in August. Okay, so I think it existed for too long now to not acknowledge, to just pretend like it doesn't exist. What I do think is now's your perfect time to rebrand it and take away the dumb, stupid name of like the real world title. Let's give it a name now and reintroduce it in a tournament and do that.
Yeah,
because we cannot pretend it doesn't exist
because it's been around for over a couple months.
For too long now. You had all this build up to it. You have to follow through with it. You stripped CM Punk of the title, so you're gonna say you're gonna have an 8-man bracket for the title. Probably is gonna be like Ricky Starks, and you make it your big gold belt like WWE's version, where it is the world title, but it's not as good as the other one.
So you make the AEW World Heavyweight Championship is MJF, and this one is just the Heavyweight Championship.
Or you call it something, right? Like you can easily make it the US title.
They can't call it the US. They can't call it the North American Championship because WWE has those.
So how does New Japan have a US title?
It's not anymore. They've rebranded it.
But why? So that they could wrestle with it in the States?
I guess so, because
no, I think that's just like a Will Ospreay thing.
Who knows? But I mean, yeah.
But you can't call it Intercontinental, right?
No. And you already have an international championship.
Yeah, that's true, and I like that. This is a good question. We will return to this.
Yes, maybe in our monthly state, we might have some more options for you. Oh, you can have the World Heavyweight Championship and the AEW Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, there you go.
Right, the World and AEW. So the AEW Championship is not as high as the World Heavyweight Champion.
No, call it the Worlds Collide title, and you can only defend it on Collision.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that could work if they do an actual brand split. But I mean, it was a really good match. Punk does retain the title, but now he's stripped of it because he's no longer with the company. I should have worn the CM Punk shirt today.
Yeah, but this was a good match.
It was. Give him that. Like,
this review is going to be really long. Just buckle up.
Buckle up for this one, guys. Strap yourselves in.
This is important. This is a very, very important event in the history of wrestling. This is arguably more important than the first All In.
Yeah.
No, it's not. But no. It's close.
But it's close. It's close to the first Forbidden Door in terms of what this could mean for wrestling.
I think, yeah. Well, it's the highest ticket sales ever. It's the first time a non-WWE company, we're not counting the North Korea event where everyone was forced to go watch WCW. But yeah, I mean, yeah, let's continue.
Let's continue. Punk retains. We're going to figure out what the plans for the championship belt are going to be. I mean, we could be totally off and they just get rid of it, retire it.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
Okay. Next, we are going to another good match. Bullet Club Gold, Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Konosuke Takeshita with the guns on the outside against the Golden Elite, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Kota Ibushi.
At this point, and don't get me wrong, I think the other entrances before were fine and good, but this is like the point for me where I started really noticing how good the entrances were.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Oh, this is like my favorite part of this event. I don't care what anybody says. I have gone back and watched the like compilation of entrances now like at least 10 times. It's just there's so much watching it from other people's angles and hearing the crowd from different spots of the arena and seeing the
Yeah.
fireworks from different angles is awesome.
And not fake fireworks. When we were at my friend's house watching the show that night, we were laughing. Remember that time the WWE did that show in Saudi Arabia and they
Yeah.
had the fake fireworks?
Okay. Well, here we go. So they used I don't remember what they're called, boom boxes or something.
Mm-hmm.
So WWE uses fake sound. So they're like
Yeah.
things that pop and it makes a really loud bang, but they're not actually fireworks because the fireworks don't make that loud of a noise and you can't hear them
Yeah.
on TV. You could hear them in the arena, right? So when you watch AEW and you see the fireworks go off and you're like,
You
"Oh,
don't hear anything.
it's not that loud." They make a noise. But then at WWE when I went to SmackDown, shout out to Edge's last match, it was like jarring. Like it is loud, like scary loud. Like I was
It
scared for my
vibrates your seat,
eardrums
boom,
how
boom, boom, boom.
loud
Yeah.
the boom was. Like I almost threw my phone when Charlotte came out. I was like, "What the hell just happened?"
Yeah,
Because
that's a
I'm
lot
used
of.
to AEW, right? So I'm
Mhm.
expecting just fireworks and like flames.
And when you went to the house show, they don't really do pyro.
No, they did a little bit, but it's like sparkler type pyro.
Yeah, like Gilbert style.
Yeah. Gilbert.
Shout out
By
to
the way, the
Gilbert.
longest ever WWE cruiserweight run was
Run.
Gilbert.
Exactly. Shout out to Gilbert. But this was a fantastic match. I'm surprised they sandwiched CM Punk between Jack Perry and Kenny Omega. I thought the Kenny Omega match would have gone on later because Punk just left.
Listen, this was, man, I don't care. Bullet Club Gold is fucking awesome.
Yes.
I love the guns. I just the event we're getting today, tomorrow, yesterday. I don't like that they're being paired together. Like I want to see the guns tag team. I want to see Juice fight alone. I want to see Jay White fight alone.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep seeing them being lumped together in these group matches. Mind you, this Kota Ibushi was so much better in this match than he was in Blood and Guts.
Yes.
Takeshita was fucking amazing. I can't wait to watch him fight Kenny Omega tomorrow. Yesterday. But Kenny was like top tier Kenny, man. Every
back
time
to his old form.
Kenny touched the ring with Takeshita, or you know what, had gold with all three of them. He has really good chemistry with Juice.
Yeah, he does.
Like really good. And it's like all three of those guys have in-ring experience with Jay White and Juice for like a long time.
Yeah.
And Adam Page and Kenny both have worked with the Guns as well.
Yeah.
So it's like there I know they're not part of this match, but like there's like a flow, there's like a really good just everything
chemistry,
flows.
a chemistry. Yeah.
It's just everything worked really well.
And for some reason, Takeshita can work with anybody.
He's a beast, man. He's the future. Yeah. There's a reason why Kenny is doing this. This is no BS. He was DDT's number one guy. Like for all we know, he would have ended up being Noah's number one guy running up the pipeline.
Yeah.
And
can you imagine Takeshita versus Jake Lee?
Oh, I would love that. I would love to just see Takeshita versus like Marufuji in like a put over match. Like something like that. That would be excellent.
We know
things about Noah.
Bring back our boy Ninja Mac.
Yeah, bring back Ninja Mac. I want to see like Ninja Mac versus
the guy from
No, what's the guy's name? The guy he does the flippy floppies. Commander. I want to see Commander versus Ninja Mac.
Yes.
Shout out to Ninja Mac.
Three-way dance with Iho the Dr. Wagner Jr.
No. Three-way dance with Vikingo.
Yes. There we go.
And Metallic. There you go. Four-way match.
Or
put Gravity in there.
Yeah, there we go. Call us. We'll book your shows.
We're way off. We're
way off topic. But another solid match. Surprisingly, too, Takeshita gets the pin on Omega. It's rare that somebody gets over Omega like that.
Usually, it's rare to say this at an AEW pay-per-view, because like there's always good matches, and we even
Yeah.
when we don't like it, we have a good time. But it's rare that 4 matches in, like at this point, I'm like even I'm getting happier as the show's progressing.
Yeah.
Like I have a huge smile. I'm like so excited to see what's coming next.
Especially with AEW's track record this year.
Yeah, it was basically Forbidden Door and nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. But at least now it's improving. Where, like I said, 4 matches in. I think it's also the company. I don't know how you watched it, but I was watching it at a buddy's house. My brother Fab was there. We had a whole bunch of like friends over kind of thing. And it's like, this is the first time like we have gotten together. The person's house I went to, shout out to Pietro. I know you're watching. His house, it was the first time way
Thanks
back.
for the invite, Pietro.
Next time. You were sick.
Was I? I don't
Yes.
remember. Listen, my life is a blur at this point.
But you were sick and you were out of commission, so I wasn't sure. But I would have gladly invited you. But like, with who was there? It was Pietro. It was my brother Fab. It was John Franco was there. JJ was there. We used to watch the pay-per-views back in 2018 at my place, and it was every month they would come over and we'd watch it. And this is the first time all of us have gotten together since like in 4 or 5 years now, watching a pay-per-view together. So
yeah,
but,
I mean, yeah, and a couple of my friends were there. I was gonna say a lot. A couple of my friends were there, and I was getting like pictures and videos from the crowd angles, and like it was really just an enjoyable watch.
And it just goes to show the magnitude of this event when everybody's.
It felt important. It felt like WrestleMania. It looked like WrestleMania. The sun
outdoor,
coming through the roof. I was like WrestleMania 4. What's the one where they're in?
The Caesar's Palace one.
Is that 10?
That's
no,
9.
9. Caesar's Palace. Yeah, it had that vibe. It had Caesar's Palace vibes.
Yeah, it did. It did. Absolutely, it did. But back to the match. So going back to where we were talking about Omega, and anything else you want to add on this match?
No,
other than the fact that Takeshita's a monster.
I think it was the right outcome. They're telling a good story.
And Takeshita is that you were saying about the other 4 pillars. I think he belongs in that powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks.
This is the thing, though. He's not a homegrown talent, so we can't give it to him. But I do agree with you 100%. I think,
and he's also in a higher profile program.
Ricky Starks isn't technically homegrown either, but he's been here since almost the beginning, and he's grown as a wrestler so much through AEW, which is why I consider him one of them.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. So we'll go into our next match. It was FTR defending the AEW Tag Championships against the Young Bucks. Young Bucks did not come out to Wayward Son.
No, well, the Wayward Son is only the trios.
For the trios, okay.
But they did come out to Super Kick Party after they had that weird
Super
intro. Kick, knock you out.
That's all written by their dad.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently he does a lot of music.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? It was kind of cool. Young Bucks, Young Buckaroonies. They did ruin the whole show by shooting their stupid streamers that got caught on everything.
And then like throughout the course of the show, all you see is like streamers dangling in front of the camera for like the next hour.
It was kind of goofy. But they
fun.
got a huge pop.
Yeah.
Once again, I think at the end of the match, they got what they deserved, but FTR came out to like silence again.
Yeah. But they got put over at the end when the Bucks refused to shake their hands.
Yeah, and I think at that point, I mean, to me, in my time of watching wrestling, there's very few pops that exist like red hot FTR did. Like they were hot, man. As soon as you heard the whole crowd just went absolutely mental.
I think they took too much time away.
They did. And then coming back with Punk, and they were supposed to be like heels, but then they weren't heels and people didn't know how to react. Yeah. And then they beat a tag team that everyone really liked. And it was like, I don't know what the hell's going on.
When you take a team away and be as long as like when they're off or anybody's off TV for that long, you either have to have them come out as your white meat baby face and nothing else, or a red hot heel.
And it didn't, right?
Because they came out as tweeners.
Acclaimed lost the title. to the Guns, which made everybody feel like in this weird position of like what's
Yeah.
happening. And then FTR beat them in a way where they weren't the like pure baby faces. And it
Yeah.
was kind of like, okay.
What are we doing here? Yeah.
But I mean, I love FTR, so you're
Yeah.
not like upsetting me.
Greatest
They're
tag team of this generation, I think,
yeah,
personally.
of all time.
There's an argument for that.
I mean, they're out of the modern big teams.
Viewers, let us know in the comments what you think of FTR.
Yeah, but I think there's out of the major 5 big teams now, you can make an argument that all of them are the best. The Briscoes,
Yeah.
the Young Bucks,
FTR.
FTR.
I would even put the Usos there.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say the Usos. You don't have to worry, sweetheart.
Yeah.
And the machine and the Guns
And the Guns. Yeah.
the Motor City Machine Guns, not
Yeah.
the Ass Boys.
But yeah, absolutely. You think FTR going over was the right thing? They need a longer run with this belt.
No, because I think that we might have to be forced to remove the titles off them if the Cash Wheeler thing doesn't go well.
Right. So the Cash Wheeler thing, he was I wouldn't say he arrested, but he was, I guess, picked up on a gun felony, I guess.
Yeah.
That if he's convicted and found guilty, he could spend up to, was it 5 to 7 years in prison?
Yeah. And it's not looking good. He probably won't get 5 to 7 years, but he's not. So there's a chance they could be stripped. So to me, the thought process was here: you have a banger match, and you let the Young Bucks win, and then have them transitional champion the belts to somebody else,
and then go on. Then if this happens with Cash Wheeler, have Dax go on like a solid run with a singles championship.
Yeah,
like,
you could
with like. You know, when Orange say loses the international championship, have Dax go on a great run.
Yeah, or have Dax beat Claudio and go on the Ring of Honor with the Ring of Honor championship.
Give Dax
like
the real world championship.
Yeah, give Dax the television title on.
Have him beat Samoa Joe.
You know what I mean? There's options.
Yeah,
and then you can always ping pong the belts and get it back to them somehow.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. Yeah, so that's an unfortunate situation that's happening with FTR. So you think it should have been the Young Bucks just in
only
case
for that reason?
Yeah,
but otherwise, I don't. The Young Bucks aren't. This sounds so bad, but they're not company carrying tag team anymore.
No, you have to give it to somebody up and. Why don't you give it to the Best Friends? I think they've earned it.
Can we just talk about the Best Friends? Like they're so hard done by in this company. They're so overused in matches where it looks like they're gonna get murdered just to put over somebody, and they get nothing out of it. Trent Beretta is one of the best tag team wrestlers of all time. Okay, of all time.
Roppongi Vice, baby.
He's just like a really good wrestler.
Yeah. And WWE is another squandered talent right there. But less we say about that, the better. So we'll go into our next match. FTR retains. Our next match is a.
Wait, let's talk about that match quickly.
Okay. What else did you want to say?
I think it was a really well told story in the ring of like someone getting injured and then coming back like from the ground and like breaking it up. Then there was the finisher.
The finisher sequence was really
And there was a good ring story. Okay.
They also did each other's finishers.
Yep.
Right. They did the Shatter Machine on FTR, and
I thought they were gonna win when they did it.
When the Bucks did the Shatter Machine?
Bucks did it. I thought that's how it's gonna end. I was convinced the Bucks were winning this for the reason that I said.
Yeah. It would have made sense. I was very happy that FTR won.
I love FTR. Let FTR keep going.
Yeah, as long as they can. Like, I mean, until he's convicted, which could be up to a year from now, right?
Well, now we know they're not defending the title today, tomorrow. But have them go all the way to Full Gear.
Yeah, if they can, absolutely.
And I believe that will be the longest tag team run at that point.
Yeah, it could be.
The only one that might be longer was Adam Page and Kenny Omega.
Yeah, that went on almost a year, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
there are like 140 something days, I think, FTR.
Yeah, they're close. Full Gear would put them over the 200, I think. Omega and Hangman were 228. Young Bucks have the longest run.
Oh, there you go, Young Bucks.
302 days. FTR is at 150.
Hey, keep that open. We might need that later.
Yes.
All right. So what's
But
the next match?
Next match, we're going into the Stadium Stampede match, which was a weird Stadium Stampede match.
All right. So I think, did we talk about this?
Yes, we did. I kind of mentioned to you the camera cuts.
Okay. So I wasn't sure if it was you. I solved the riddle.
Okay. So the participants
We'll
were Kingston, Penta, Best Friends, Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta, and Orange Cassidy against the VCC, Moxley, Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and a returning Santana, which they were really pushing. Now it's Mike Santana. Before it was just Santana and Ortiz. Now it's Mike Santana and Ortiz.
It sounds like three people: Mike Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that they're friends again, and the tag team division,
because they had some real
them.
heat. They had some real heat together. Yeah.
They were a tag team for a long time, and they fell out, and they've worked it out.
And I would arguably put the LAX as probably top 10 modern tag team wrestlers.
If not top 10, top 15 for sure.
Yeah.
They're not like the pinnacle, but they're definitely a solid tag team.
Yeah.
And I think that's helpful. I think
they're a real tag team.
Yeah, they're not a BCC team though. Like they're not going to end up sticking with them. BCC is looking for like Takeshita type people.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be someone new is going to join them, and it's going to be like somebody really good.
Yeah. We were talking about where's Pac? Pac's hurt again.
Yeah, he's not going to join them. They want to definitely put Death Triangle back together.
Yeah, but Pac's hurt again, so
yeah,
okay. Because after the Claudio match, he was there to replace an injured Mark Briscoe, and then after that he had the next night he had the match against Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity,
and then that's it. We haven't heard from him since.
Both good matches.
Yes, they were. But I digress. This was like, okay, so you solved the riddle. So the riddle was there was Takeshita, not Takeshita, it was Wheeler Yuta. He's in the stadium, then all of a sudden they're showing a backstage clip and he's backstage.
Okay, so this is what happens. It's very subtle, but he says moments ago backstage, and then they showed the clip, but he didn't yell it. He gets like talked over by the noise.
Okay. So he did say it.
Because I saw what you said, and then I heard him say something, and I rewound, and I heard him say it. He's like moments ago backstage, and I was like, and then while that's happening, it shows them like moving along, and then it cuts away from them and then cuts back and they're somewhere else, because you don't notice that in that time when they're showing you the moments ago clip, they're like moving,
transitioning somewhere else.
Transitioning somewhere else.
Okay.
Trust me, I easily could have been fooled by that.
Okay. I guess we were laughing and having a good time that we didn't notice.
Yeah, because you 100% could miss it. I missed it. Yeah. I literally had to rewind.
Okay. So, okay.
I'm like, JD told me about that. I'm like, I want to see.
So that solves the riddle. Thank you for solving the riddle. You cracked the code.
Cracked the code.
Unlike Bret Hart, who cracks the cardboard on Pizza.
Wow.
There's a reference for you. But this was a fun match. It wasn't the Stadium Stampede that we're used to, because usually they take place in a stadium, an empty like sports arena stadium.
Has it happened more than once?
This is the third one, I think.
Okay, but this is more like a arena. What are they called?
An arena match, like kind of like when
what's the match they keep having? The not Blood and Guts, Anarchy in the arena. Arena.
Yeah, you're right. This is more of an that's the one. Anarchy in the arena match, like with when Sting went through two tables head first.
Yeah, I mean he does a table thing today, which we'll talk about. Does. He's been having a lot of trouble, by the way, breaking tables.
Yes.
Unless he uses his head. This match was more entertaining than I expected it to be, but it's way too long.
Yeah, this was one of the longest matches on the card.
Sue got the biggest pop of the night.
Yes, Sue did when she came in with the minivan.
Yeah, if you see it from a fan angle, it's actually really loud.
Yeah.
The way they use cameras in AEW and mics, you don't really pick up how loud the crowd is all the time.
Yeah, it's not pumped in like the way WWE pumps in the sound.
By the way, though, that's no BS. WWE legitimately pumps sound through the speakers. When I was there, I was looking around and nobody's cheering, but there's so much noise in the arena.
That's hilarious.
But it's for TV, right?
Yeah.
From that aspect, I understand it because you want it to sound good through TV speakers.
So
you
on the
gotta
camera
do
side,
so.
was it all empty or was it a packed house?
You remember how it was at Forbidden Door?
Yeah.
The exact same seats were empty. That like weird spot in the middle.
In the middle, behind the camera, behind
Yeah.
the hard cam. Okay.
But I also learned this from a guy who said he used to be on YouTube. He said he used to be like a roadie / like producer for wrestling. He's like, there's never ever really a sellout. He's like, there's always, because they always reserve seats for if VIP people are going to show up. They always reserve seats in case backstage people need seats.
Okay.
And then what happens is at the last minute, they'll put those seats up for sale if they don't use them, and then nobody buys them. So there's never any wrestling shows. There's no such thing as a sellout.
Sellout. Okay. You just don't see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. What'd you think of this match though? This, like you said, this is more like an anarchy in the arena.
It was fun. I had a fun time. There were some really good spots. Those putting
Orange getting beat up, man.
Orange getting beat up, Orange hands in the glass.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that Santana and Ortiz were doing, I thought they legitimately got hurt.
Yeah.
Penta coming back in the red suit was awesome.
Yeah, he comes back as Penta. Was it Oscuro?
Penta Oscuro, and that was awesome. His move through the table, I'm pretty sure they're both dead.
Yep. They're
off
probably
a
still
broken
laying.
ladder.
Yes.
Okay? He yelled at that's not Jose, right? That's Alex
Abrahantes, yeah.
And he's like, hold the ladder. The ladder leg was broken.
And he's going, it's a painter's ladder too. So the other side of the ladder is not for climbing.
No, and he did a modified Canadian destroyer. I don't remember. It was like a sunset flip after because he couldn't get the Canadian destroyer
kind of
off.
thing. Yeah.
That, and it looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
And then they were out of the match for the whole match after that.
We didn't see them again.
It was, like I said, it was fun. It was entertaining, but it was too long.
But I mean, this feud continues in a way because now Mox is facing Orange Cassidy.
Tonight is
yesterday.
Oh yeah, no, sorry. When Dynamite was Cassidy and Penta, which Penta should have won.
Yep.
I'm really upset by this because I know what's going to happen. Even though this is tomorrow, yesterday, John Moxley's going to win the stupid title, and I'm just going to be upset about it.
I don't think he will.
Penta would have been a great representative of that belt.
I think Mox is going to
let him take it to Mexico.
Mox is going to get disqualified.
You think so?
Yep.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll absolutely take it. And it's I don't care about this feud at all.
Yeah, Mox and Orange, yeah. Or just
this whole total thing, I don't care.
Yeah, BCC after they ended their feud with the JAS, they've kind of gotten stale.
This is a thing, and I don't want to drag this on forever. Eddie Kingston is a clinger, and I want to say manipulator, but it's not the right word. He's like a clinger. So what he does is he finds high profile feuds with big name wrestlers that should blow off very quickly, and what he does is he convinces people backstage to let him hold on to this feud forever, and then just to keep his name popular, and then you just keep getting mediocre matches. Like, I'm sorry I keep pointing like this, but it's just like, I don't want to see Eddie Kingston versus Claudio anymore. I'm done with it. It's over.
Yeah.
Like 17 matches later, okay, we don't need to do this. He did it with Chris Jericho. He did it like it's just like his thing.
He's done it with Mox.
Right? And it's just, okay, enough.
We're done. Yeah. Agreed. So with that, we are going to move on to the next match, which was the 4-way match for the AEW Women's Championship. Saraya, Shida, Britt Baker, and Toni Storm in a 4-way match.
I'm trying to think, how fast can I possibly say this? Storytelling wise, this was an excellent match.
Right.
Everything
you're teasing,
else, this is not even remotely an entertaining or good match. It was some of the poorest wrestling I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, especially from Shida and Toni, and
like Shida and Toni were good when they got to do their thing.
Yes.
Whenever Britt Baker intervened or Saraya, they had to like completely slow the pace of the match.
Saraya was so
everything.
out of her element in this match.
It's Britt Baker did like 8 sling blades. And when she first came back from her injury, I was like, holy crap, she learned some new moves. But now I'm realizing she just does sling blades over and over. That's
Yeah,
all she does.
yeah,
And it's okay, great. Takahashi does the sling blade.
yeah, sling blade as well.
But he's also one of the greatest of all time.
Yes, it's his move, right? He's the one who invented it,
If Britt
I
Baker won
guess, in
this,
a
I would
way.
have been upset.
Yeah, I'm still
Um,
upset.
I'm very upset because they gave it to her just based on the fact that the match is in England. By the way, Saraya wins, and she
Yeah,
came out to Queen.
yes,
She must have paid a shitload of money for that. But also the entrances have been great. We
yeah.
continue to say, and I do like Soraya's entrance song, the normal one.
I don't like the fact that Sheeta was a transitional champion.
Yes, it makes it feel cheap when she's arguably your best female wrestler, and you
Yeah,
keep treating her like a poo poo.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Then you could have gave the belt to Tony Storm. Okay.
Yeah,
Who, yes, okay, I get it. Oh, Tony Storm again, but Tony Storm's really good.
yeah,
Here's how you correct this whole story. Do you want can I just go?
absolutely. I'll
You
tell you
never
mine
you
after that.
never let Sheeta win, and
Hmm.
you tell the exact same story you told, except Saraya beats Tony Storm for the belt. And now you're actually telling the story you wanted to tell.
Yeah. See, my theory is this. I think Saraya is a transitional champion as well.
I know she is for sure, and it's gonna be to
And
like,
Chris Statlander.
you think so?
Absolutely. Statlander will lose to Ruby Riot. And you'll have Saraya and Ruby Riot with belts in the team.
This is upsetting to me because listen, as from when I got into AEW, I've been a complete 100% backer of Chris Statlander. I
Mm-hmm.
thought this girl's really good. She has the physique. She's really making gains. She came back from
Yeah.
this injury and she has not had one good match. Zero. Every single match was like a slog to get through, like to the point where her match against Mercedes Martinez was so bad and botch filled, and it was like a 35-minute match.
Yeah, but I think my theory, if it is correct, is she's losing to Ruby. It's going to create more dissension in the team with Tony and with Ruby and Saraya both having belts, and it's going to cause Tony to turn, cause Saraya to lose the belt to Chris Statlander. So this way you elevate Chris Statlander, you can get the belt off Saraya, and
I think, I mean, I don't think you're wrong there. I just think I wanted to tell this story differently was all my thing was.
yeah.
Because this match is clearly built around this story. Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida spent most of the match on the outside.
Yeah, there were outliers.
And
Absolutely
if it wasn't Tony Storm completely selling like a maniac for Saraya, they would have looked really bad. Like I can't stress enough how good Tony Storm is.
Yeah.
Okay. That being said, again,
this was a poo-poo match. It was also the shortest match on the card.
I think you might see your transitional idea be Thunder Rosa.
Oh, really?
Coming back and winning the title.
Okay, I would take that too.
Or Jamie Hayter coming back and winning the title.
And taking her title back. Okay, I'll take
that
like
too. A British.
Or later in the show, they showed someone in the crowd.
Sasha Banks. That's possible.
The woman who supposedly ended Paige's career in WWE.
Yeah, you just told. That's it. That's what it is. We know it now. That's how we kept seeing her the whole time. That makes complete sense. Also, this match was freaking doo-doo.
Yeah, this was the worst match of the night. Hands down.
It should have been good.
It should have been one of the best.
Listen, and this is a funny because there's a guy at my work, my buddy, always makes these arguments, and it's like now I'm really starting to get it. People are always complaining there should be more women's matches, but then they put on women's matches and they're this. And it's like, no. If you want to watch women's matches, watch Impact. Or watch Stardom. Because you're not getting them anywhere else anymore.
No. And like I said in the last video, when I talked to Scott D'Amore, I told him, like, you have the best women's division. And the review that's coming out tomorrow night, which is our emergence review, proves it.
In a way.
Yes.
Not Naomi.
No, but MK Ultra, baby.
Oh, yeah, big time. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on.
Moving on. We've already taken too long on this show. Next, we have a coffin match because they can't call it a casket match between Darby Allin, Sting, against Darby Allin's thing against Christian Cage and Swerve Strickland, which is a weird pairing.
I don't care. I love Christian Cage. You're not
And I
going to
love
upset
Swerve.
me. When Christian Cage is on his A game in the ring, he's very good still.
Are we getting a Edge appearance soon,
I have freaking hope so.
or do you think they'll save it for Full Gear? Because technically, Edge's contract doesn't
Expires
expire
right before Full Gear.
Yes, his matches are done, so he's fulfilled all the matches on his contract. It's just he can't go anywhere until the actual contract expires.
Yeah, unless he asks for a buyout, which he will receive less money from that. But anyways, that doesn't matter. I do think that that's going to happen.
Take a few months, heal your wounds, get paid, and then
get big time pay. Come back for just wrestle until you feel like you can't do it anymore and it's not safe anymore, and then just say, I've got enough money now, I can go.
Now, does he come back as a heel with Christian, or does he come back as a face against Christian? Because you have to be there has to be it with Christian in a way.
I think you do a versus situation, and then somewhere down the line you have him come out and help, or one of them helps the other one, and then they become a tag team.
And then Christian turns babyface again, and we get
something like that, right? Listen, we're way
Edge and Christian against the Hardys. I want to see that one more time.
So do I. TLC.
And they reunited Bully Ray and Bubba.
Did they?
Bully Ray and Devon at Emergence Fallout.
Did I miss that?
I think so. Or
that was the next
night.
No.
They were going to do that at the 1000th episode, I think. Devon is coming back. That's all I know.
Like, you know what I would give for one more Get the Tables?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, listen.
Impact,
pay attention.
Thank you. Yes. Going back to this match.
Great. Yes. All four. 1, 2, 3,
this
4.
Is the best I've seen Darby look in a long time.
Bro, Joker Sting is like the pinnacle of wrestling. I don't care. I've been freaking out.
Even the vignette at the beginning when he's doing the Jack the Ripper thing was great. I love
every single promo he gave so far as Joker Sting has been amazing. And it's like this character that he only brings out when it's time to get crazy.
Yeah.
By the way, all the entrances were amazing. Metallica, Search and Destroy. Or is it Seek and Destroy?
Seek and Destroy. Search and Destroy is Iggy Pop.
Yeah, Seek and Destroy, and the crowd was just singing along with it. And apparently Sting dished out the money to buy that.
Because in WCW, he used to use a knockoff version of that song.
Yeah.
WCW was just like knockoffs. Chris Jericho had the knockoff, the Even Flow. Diamond Dallas Page had the Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Yeah. I love that's my favorite though. What does it go? How does it go? Self high five.
And they just switch out 2 chords and
but like that was wicked, man.
Yeah.
When I heard Metallica, I was like, what the hell is happening? I'm like, there's no way this is happening.
It was almost as great as when Danielson came out to the Final Countdown.
I think it was better.
Yeah.
I do, because I don't know, it's just special. Like, it's Sting.
Yeah.
Like, Sting is just Sting. You can't, when he started wooing and the whole crowd was going nuts.
Well, I mean, this is the first time Sting has been in England in a long time, I think.
If he's ever. This is what makes these things special. The environment of like
the crowd. The British crowd is just so different.
They're
involved.
They're really good. They're really like involved in what's happening. And then the difference is when WWE goes, they get WWE guys, like their baseline ones. The AEW showing up and they're just dropping like legends. Like here's Sting. Like what?
Right.
Like we haven't seen Sting in 30 years.
Yeah.
And I thought not only that, okay, this match was so good.
Yeah, and you don't like these coffin casket matches either.
And I don't really care for Darby Allin anymore. I did really like him when I first started watching. But yeah, and then there was that table spot with Sting. Yeah. He jumped to the table twice because he didn't break it the first time.
That's the thing about Sting. He didn't break it the first time, so he does the spot again just to break the table. The second time he used his head.
Yeah, he did. He also did a spot on top of the casket.
Yes.
Where now the casket was mangled and it was all pointed up, and he came down right on the point.
Yeah, and he came on an angle, and he kind of.
And then Darby Allin did a coffin drop onto the coffin that was completely mangled. So he definitely hurt himself doing that. And meanwhile, fucking dude has Swerve's fingers are like in it.
as they're closing the casket. So as they're closing, this is my thing now. So Swerve gets closed in the casket, so they lose the match. My thing is, remember, Swerve's fingers were out of the casket, so it doesn't completely end. At the end of the match, Swerve's hair was sticking out of the casket.
Yeah, it was, and I think they did that on purpose because they talk about that after.
Okay.
But you had Nick Wayne, you had Luchasaurus have a run out, then Nick Wayne had a run out for the save, and
after
then
we just saw
Luchasaurus
a
picked him
great
up like
Nick
a little
Wayne tag
baby and
match.
just carried him away. I don't. So he hit Nick Wayne really hard. I don't think it was not obviously not like real, and it was not meant to hurt Nick Wayne, but I don't think Nick Wayne thought it was gonna happen like the way it did, because he like hit the ground like really hard.
Yeah. But still, it was fun.
Yeah.
We had a great run, and yeah, Sting goes over and with Darby Allin.
Excellent.
It's great. Yeah, Darby Allin's getting a few wins under his belt. Maybe, soon he'll be poised for something bigger, but I like him with Sting right now. Let that go. Maybe let them have a tag title run.
Absolutely.
But with that, we will go into our next match, which was, oh boy, Will Ospreay versus Chris Jericho.
Banger.
Yes, absolutely.
It's weird because I mean at this point I don't know if there's much of an argument. But I think this will not win, but this needs to be in the argument for match of the year. Yeah. And that's 3 matches now from Will Ospreay. So I guess wrestler of the year
who's winning our wrestler of the year.
Yeah. I mean, it's at this point it's no longer an opinion as much as it is just fact.
A fact. Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think this will actually reflect in PWI this year.
Yes, because he's gotten a lot of high profile wins. He's gotten another belt.
Been a champion twice.
And let's talk about Chris Jericho, who at 52 years old is still putting on. He's probably in the best shape of his life right now.
And they just, anyone who doesn't know, they pre-lined up this story from the night before on the Rev Pro's pay-per-view, which I watched a few of the matches. It was pretty good.
The Ospreay Shingo match.
Yeah, that was a banger. But he shows up in a mask at the end and he drops a code breaker on Ospreay.
Yeah.
And it takes off the mask. It's Chris Jericho. And then bring us here. And there's like a setup. It's really good. I think Ospreay wrestled really well.
Yeah. And it was a homecoming for Ospreay too, right?
Yeah, so, but this is the match. This was the homer match that the fans deserve, not the Saraya win.
Yeah.
I know they popped for it and they liked it, and her stupid family was there. I hate them all. But like, you know what I never realized, by the way? So I watched
the movie.
I had seen the movie. I have it. It's a pretty good movie. But I never even realized that AJ Lee is played by Zelina Vega. Why the hell wouldn't you just get AJ Lee to play AJ Lee?
She didn't want to do it.
Really?
She didn't want to do it. She had heat with WWE and didn't want to do it.
Oh, I thought that was still in the good times when they made that movie.
No.
I thought she was still on the roster.
No. Yeah, Zelina Vega.
That's messed up.
Who's married to Malachi Black.
Yeah. And AJ Lee, who's married to
CM Punk. Now they're both unemployed.
And Saraya, who's married to a bunch of guys in a porn video.
Brad Maddox and Xavier Woods.
There you go.
Yeah, but go back to the match. Let's talk about the match. How good Chris Jericho is. Fozzy was there. The whole band was there playing out.
It was fun. Fun little entrances. We're getting it all.
Like you said, the entrances this show.
The Will Ospreay entrance was wicked. He did the like ground punch, and all the lights turned on really bright, and then he did the punch, and all the fireworks went off.
Yeah, it was like you said. This felt special. This felt big. This felt like we're witnessing. I don't want to overstate it by saying we were witnessing history, but like
it kind of was, and it
meant something.
It felt like Mania. Like I was gonna wait till the end to say this, but this is one of those rare occasions where I think I want to own this pay-per-view. I want to have access to it at all times, because I think
I ended up buying it.
It's so rewatchable
on Fight.
Right? It's like the Forbidden Doors. The Forbidden Doors are something that's just like you want to have this because it's like special.
Yeah, and absolutely.
It's like, there's very few things like that. Like Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 this year was one of those.
Yeah, was one of those special shows. Yeah.
We don't get them very often.
No.
You know what? WrestleMania Night 1 this year was an absolute banger.
It was a really good show this year too.
Last year
But
was 2, not night 2. Both night 2
no, both
sucked.
night twos sucked. Yeah. I really think they need to condense it, make it one night again. Don't do 2 nights.
But it's
Me
the money,
personally. It's the money. Yeah. Double
right?
revenue, right?
It's a thing like we were
And the
just talking about in
90,000 people that show up to the.
it's what we talked about in the video with Putty,
Yeah.
where it's you might think that what they're doing is to better the product, but at the end of the day, they're still just
It's
trying to milk
detrimental.
money out of you.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. And like I said, Chris Jericho, you were saying about Will Ospreay being put into Wrestler of the Year category. This has to cement him. This has to cement Chris Jericho as one of the greatest of all time.
Easily.
Like
He already is.
But we were going, if you go back to a video we did maybe about a year and a half ago, we weren't talking about Chris Jericho like that.
Not like that, but we did the Canada Best Canadian Wrestlers, and he was second, I believe.
Yeah, to Bret Hart.
But when you really think about it now, let's take a second here.
Yeah, longevity.
What was the top 3?
It was Hart, it was Jericho, and I think it was Omega.
And let's take another second to breathe. Think about it. Are they not arguably the 3 best wrestlers of all time? Now that you really think about it,
yeah,
like there's going to be a rare 1 or 2 people that we could argue belong in between them.
We
like
missed
a Masawa.
we missed the boat. Like going back to Canadian, we missed the boat on Josh Alexander on that one.
I don't think so in terms of when we did the video.
True. That was before he had that epic run.
Right? I truly don't, because I think there's even a few other people that now we could be like, well, maybe, but at that point, it is what it is. We can always go revisit the list, but I don't think that top 3 will ever change. Maybe the order will change.
Yeah.
Because I said this in that video. I do think Kenny Omega is the best Canadian wrestler of all time. But when we're looking at career, like not in ring, just career, Chris Jericho probably is.
Yeah. The
but
accolades,
it's hard to,
it's championships, the longevity.
How do you deny Bret Hart?
You can't.
Right.
You can't.
So it's like, to me, those 3 are just a toss.
And who knows, if Bret Hart didn't get clocked by Goldberg, he might still be not now, but I'm saying he could have probably had another.
When you break down Christian's career, does he not really maybe deserve to be higher than we put him?
The fact that Christian is not in the WWE Hall of Fame and Edge is blasphemous.
Yeah, he also won, I believe, 3 NWA World Championships.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he won in Japan.
WWE Championships. He's Impact Champion.
Champion. Yeah, like
he's got the accolades. One of the most decorated tag champs of all time.
TNT champion.
Yeah.
Allegedly,
supposedly. Yeah. But yeah, and this was probably, to me, my match of the night.
I don't know yet.
It's debatable because there is going to be another match later in the evening.
It's close. We'll say it at the end. I'll wait till the end.
Okay.
It might be this. I got to think about it.
So we'll go into our next match then. In the meantime, this was a house rules, like House of Black rules style, no holds barred 6-man tag match for the AW World Trios Championship. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn against the House of Black with Julia Hart. House of Black comes out in white.
Yeah.
It was a thing. But it was a good entrance. I like it when they contrast like that.
Yeah, listen, House of Black is one of the best gimmicks in wrestling right now. After this match, I'm not sure where they go. Julia Hart, I love you. So call me.
I think Malachi is going to take a little time off. I think he needs some time off.
That's fine. You can give them some time. I mean, with the quality of matches that Brody and Buddy have been putting on, you don't need Malachi necessarily. No,
and it's that small guy, big guy dynamic too that can work with those two.
Yeah, like Buddy versus all the stuff that Brody Lee was doing, like with Darby Allin, was great. And then Buddy Matthews stuff. Is he still Buddy Matthews?
I think he is. Yeah. Or right? Is he? Yeah, Buddy Matthews. Yeah.
What was his WWE name?
Buddy Murphy.
Buddy Murphy. Okay. Buddy Matthews stuff that he did with Andrade was like crazy.
Those who now is separated from Charlotte.
Hey, maybe he'll wrestle better. But yeah, it's this. I don't know what they do with them now, but we'll see. but I'm not too worried.
Let's have, not with the championships, but let's have Brody and Matthews go, or Matthews go on a solid tag team run without, like, they don't necessarily need the belts, but have them do a good run
and get Julia more involved in the actual wrestling part. Because without Dark and Dark Elevation, she's had a lot less like exposure, in-ring exposure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see where they can go. I understand the logic of this. I'm already getting too far ahead of myself. The Acclaimed come out. Badass Billy Gunn is here.
Yes,
he's no nonsense. He's not scissoring. They didn't even mention scissoring.
Nope. I like the little tribute. Was it Anthony Bowens? No, Max Caster had the Mr. Ass lips on the.
They had the lips and scissors. And I thought Billy Gunn was really good. You know what? Say what you want about like his quality of wrestling, but like even at his age, he's still gotten better.
Well, I mean, the guy's 60.
Yeah, but he's progressed as a wrestler.
Yeah.
He actually
we wouldn't have said that a few 10 years ago.
He's actually he didn't just age nicely, and he's actually improved.
He's still fit too at 60 years old.
He's a fucking monster.
Yeah.
But this was a good match.
Yeah.
Fun little spots. They did these scissor me timbers on Julia.
Yep. On Julia, yeah.
And I think I don't know if them winning the titles is the right thing to do, because I
feel you on that.
I don't see them as a legit trio. I love Billy Gunn and I like the Acclaimed a lot, but at this point I don't feel like they have as much popularity as they used to, number one, and I don't think Billy Gunn has the get up and go to keep wrestling trios matches. I
think this is to add to Billy Gunn's career, I guess, because he's been such an integral part of AEW with the backstage, with the training of the young guys. Again, that mentorship that we're talking about, like Darby and Sting and all that. He's taken the Acclaimed under his wing and arguably made him one of the better tag teams in AEW right now.
It's one of those things where it's like Rey Mysterio. They did the Rey Mysterio thing where they gave him the US title to make him a 4-decade champion.
Yep.
But now, doesn't this make Billy Gunn a 4-decade champion as well? Did he win in the 2010s?
Yes, he did with NWA Impact.
Yeah. So then
TNA, whatever they were called.
That's and then what I think is going to happen, what we just talked about it earlier, I think somehow they're going to weasel a win for Sting to get a title as well. Because Sting would be 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. Which would be, I think that's a record.
80s, 90s, 2000s, 10s, 20s, 5 decades. I think Terry Funk.
5 decades?
I think Terry Funk did
Maybe
that.
Terry Funk. But was it a major title?
Yeah. ECW, no? In the 90s. Maybe he missed out in the 2010s.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
Well, you have Flair in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 10s as well.
Okay. Yeah, and Sting has his place with Flair, but he has his place with Flair because him and Flair were played off each other for decades. That was their whole thing. And I mean, I would like to see Sting maybe win a trios title.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Anyways, digressing.
The
match was good.
Yeah.
Malachi Black looked a little bit iffy.
That's why I said I think he's not at 100%, and
he looks really skinny too. I don't know if you noticed that.
But I think Malachi needs some time off, from what I understand, to heal some wounds. Give
him some time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad he came back.
Yeah,
and he didn't go back to WWE because their run was really good.
Yeah, they had one of the better title runs in recent time.
Probably all of AEW.
Yeah, I don't know,
it's
the run
up there.
Yeah, and they ended it at the right time too. Orange Cassidy's run, I think, is a little too long.
It's Orange Cassidy's run is digressing.
Yes, to Tazism. So with that, the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn win the Trios Championship. Then a couple nights later, they unveiled pink belts on Dynamite.
Yep.
So they customized it, which is I like the customization.
A lot of people didn't notice. House of Black also had customized belts. It was all black and silver. There was no other colors on it except black and silver.
Yeah, where the original belt was what? Black.
It was the same colors as it is now, but without the pink belt. Okay. It had the blue world and it had like blue writing on it.
And blue writing. I think the back of it was white as well, wasn't it?
I don't remember actually.
But anyway, so we'll go into our main event of the night. MJF versus Adam Cole, baby. This was a very good match. This is the best I've seen MJF.
It was a great story told.
Mm-hmm.
It was
ring work, not as much.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Adam Cole usually, even post injury, has been really good. He was the lesser of the two wrestlers in this match.
Yes, I think
MJF has grown so much to the point where it's like
you can't let this guy go now.
No, he's not going anywhere. He's got a long-term contract for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Really good match. And it's showing us that it's not all former WWE wrestlers that are running the show now. We got a lot of homegrown stuff. We got a lot of Japanese stuff happening now, and it's working out really well for this company. MJF was fantastic in this match. The story,
AEW's finally back on the uptick. Finally,
we're telling kind of their bloodline story right now.
Yeah, with Roderick Strong.
Yeah, and
I'm your best friend, not him.
Mind you, I think what should have been the match. So there's a tag team match on the card for the Ring of Honor tag team titles.
Yes,
at Full All Out.
At All Out.
Can you tell me who it's against? I forgot.
Yes, I can. It will be against Dark Order. Alex Reynolds and John Silver.
Alex Reynolds and John Silver are getting a tag team shot on a pay-per-view against Adam Cole and MJF. You know who this match should be against? The Kingdom. And you know who should win that match?
The
Kingdom, because Roderick Strong cheats. So now we kind of break up the idea that Cole and MJF are going to split, and we make their connection stronger, so that when they do split, it's even more impactful.
Bigger. Yeah. And shout out to Mike Bennett, who name dropped the Ted Reeve Arena on Dynamite.
Hell yeah, he did. But you know what I mean? That made so much sense to me when I opened the card and I saw John Silver and Alex Reynolds. I mean, I love them both, but
they're not winning this.
Huh?
Yeah. Maybe that's the Full Gear match.
It could be, I guess. Because I know the Ring of Honor thing match is not for a long time.
Yeah. And there's nothing between All Out and Full Gear, is there?
Guess what? You bake that. You keep this little feud going, little sweet babies, and then guess who comes back? Kyle O'Reilly, and you have a three-way match. You get out of pay-per-view.
Actually, they're adding a new pay-per-view this year in October.
Who?
AEW.
So it's going to be October, November?
Yep. October 1st is AEW Wrestle Dream.
Or is this like a Japanese pay-per-view? What the fuck kind of name is that?
I don't know, but that's what it's being called.
Are we sure it's not like super leg spread wide Stardom women's event?
No, it's actually called Wrestle Dream.
Flashing Champions.
Flashing Champions. That could be taken so wrong in so many ways.
You didn't think about that one, did you?
No, not until you brought it up. But I mean, where does this feud go? Because clearly, like MJF and
should we tell them what happened?
Well, MJF retains in a way that I guess he cheats in a way to win.
Well, there was also a double pinfall.
Yes.
From a double clothesline.
Yes. There was the double pinfall, and they call both of them winners. But because what if they did a double split belt? They're both the champion. Would that have been...
I thought what it was going to do is that they had to stay together, and there was only one belt. So now it would force them to not be able to break up because they're both the champion.
That's true.
So like one would be cheating for the other one constantly to make sure they keep the belt kind of thing, right? Because they're both kind of heels.
Yeah, but the crowd loves them now. The crowd is so behind them.
But outside of WWE, you're allowed to like heels.
Yeah.
People really love Naito.
Yes, that's true.
Probably love him the most of any Japanese wrestler
True.
because he's
And
the
then
greatest
so
wrestler of all
after
time.
and then after that, he asks for 5 more minutes like he did on the previous match.
And that was a nice callback, and we got 5 more minutes, and it was a good 5 minutes. And then
Yes.
he won the match, and there was a thing, and then the stuff, and then
the
Tony
stuff
Khan was like,
happened.
I'm gonna go back to England.
Yes, he mentions the fact. But thank you, AEW, for this show. You were kind of lackluster in the last little while, and they're finally back to form. Hopefully.
Camera issues aside,
Yes.
there's a lot of camera issues.
Yeah, audio issues.
But otherwise the presentation was pretty, like, if I was there, I understand the logic of wrestling fans of like, I was there.
Yeah.
But like, man, if you were not sitting on a perfect line, you couldn't see shit.
No, with those bars in front of you, no way.
Even like
No
from
way.
some of the angles, there's just like the ring is so small and you're so far away from it.
Yeah. But overall, so you said you'd let us know at the end. Which one was your favorite match tonight?
I kind of like the trios match, the Kenny Omega one.
So here I'm going to cheat. The best in-ring work was Ospreay and Jericho, but the best storytelling was MJF and Adam Cole.
I'll take it. I'll just agree with you. That's fine with me.
Okay. And overall, what would you give this show?
Do you have the thing open?
Yes, I do.
What do you know what our highest score was? I think we gave Forbidden Door a 9, or I gave Forbidden Door a 9.
Forbidden Door was our highest scored show this year.
Do you know what I gave Wrestle Kingdom Night 1?
Yes, I do. Wrestle Kingdom was an 8-7.
This is an 8-8.
Really? This was better than Wrestle Kingdom?
This is 8-7.
Better than Wrestle Kingdom for you, eh?
Same tie.
Yeah, I'm up there with you. Mine's not that high, but mine's an 8-2.
Okay, you know what? I hate that you just did this to me. 8-6. It's slightly less than Wrestle Kingdom Night 1.
Okay.
I thought about it.
All right.
I thought about it.
Had Omega Ospreay, like.
Yeah, it also had freaking Jay White and Okada, which was a banger.
Yes, that's true.
It also had FTR and fucking Bishamon, which was a banger too.
Yes, it was. So, arguably, probably tag match of the year.
The 4-way. Okay, yeah, fuck off. 8-6.
All right, I'm like I said, it's definitely in the 8s. I'm not as high, but I agree. It was an excellent show. So with that out of the way, if you watch the show, let us know in the comments below what you thought of AEW's All In. Tune in tomorrow for our review of Emergence, and tune in later in the week because we got 4. That's count 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 reviews for you this week. 4 horsemen. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. And in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.